Good evening, sisters. This is our fourth and last little video, and in this video we're going to be looking at why there is a minimum for rush orders. A minimum cost requirement has been attached to rush orders for several reasons. One, extra time and effort is needed to process these orders both on the local and the central levels. We stop our ordering for the book centers and all the customers who frequent them in order to purchase for individuals. Processing these orders costs money. Whenever you ask a company to go outside of its ordinary working procedures, you are requiring them to expend not only time and effort, but also money to fulfill your request. That is why companies will charge you extra for such services. PBM needs to identify when we can expend this time, effort, and resources for special ordering, and how we are going to balance that with our identity, as well as what relation this special ordering has with the work to create a place where people come because they appreciate and thirst for what we have created our centers to be. By placing a minimum requirement on rush orders, we are setting parameters to our capacity to special order. The customer who needs 1 or 2 books as a rush order should be directed to Amazon, where they can get the book quicker and cheaper without using up time, effort, and resources that could better be spent for the development of the whole. They could be paying us postage anyway for the item. They would be paying us postage anyway for the item, so they can just as easily purchase it by themselves from Amazon and pay the postage there. We will place rush orders for sizable requests, which are often orders for items being used for pastoral purposes by those in ministry, or the occasional person who is buying a larger number of books for gifts or personal ministry. A sizable order which meets the minimum dollar amount has a greater possibility of covering the costs PBM incurs in agreeing to place it as a rush order. So the minimum cost requirement eliminates the possibility that we would be stopping consistently or constantly placing a lot of special orders for individual customers for small books that they could obtain on their own. I was in the Manhattan Book Center last week, and a woman came in who wanted the Haydock version of the Douay-Rheims Bible, which is a very specific version and a very expensive one, which we don't carry. She wanted it because her friends had it, so I went to the back in the computer and I did 3-second research, got the information off Amazon, went up and gave her the information on how to get it herself. I told her what company it's from and what it costs. She was so happy. Giving people accurate information is also customer service. Without that information, she would have spent months wandering through New York City asking bookstores for an obscure book no one's heard about. She will come back when she needs something else because she knows we are the people who know about the types of things she likes to read. And she'll also tell others that when they want to find out something about religious books, they should come to Pauline's. Second, a vendor may have no minimum order for a full discount, so why are we requiring a minimum cost? We have a minimum dollar requirement because if the order is for a small amount, it will often not cover the cost of processing the order, even if postage is paid by the customer. Also, because the minimum requirements vary for different vendors, the $170 retail or $100 cost requirement is simply an average that should meet the discount terms for the majority of the vendors. And third, why is there a minimum for customer requests from non-special vendors that are being filled through the replenishment process? First of all, some vendors are listed as non-special order vendors because we are saying we do not do special orders from them. When we do place an order for a customer from them, it is an exception, and as we have already explained why, it needs to be a large quantity that we are ordering. The minimum of $170 retail or $100 cost, first of all, then keeps us from turning these vendors into special order vendors. But there are also some reasons why this is important that are not immediately evident, and some of them we've just discovered in the past year by trial and error. For example, if we start placing orders for these vendors for one book here and one book there, For books that we would not ordinarily stock, when that book is picked up and paid for, it will be restocked in your center. Now you have dead stock on your shelves. Your purchaser cannot know that you only want that book for a special order and not for stock. If the order is for a large number of books, the purchaser will see the blip in sales and know that this was for a special order and ignore it. Non-special order vendors are often vendors with books that are part of the assortment. They are not core items or topics. They are the salt and pepper and spice of the center. The orders from these vendors are smaller and less frequent, and these titles are not necessarily titles that need to be always in stock. That is the purpose of the assortment. If we are treating these non-special order vendors as a special order vendor and placing orders for individuals for them, it will take many special requests in order to reach a large enough total cost for a PO for that vendor to actually place the order. Our hands get tied behind our back when a center takes an order for a non-SPO vendor for a customer who is expecting it for a particular date, and we really don't have a reason for placing a replenishment order for your center. So we end up padding the order with unneeded inventory for the purpose of getting the person's order to them. Again, they can get the order themselves online or wait for the book to be replenished. If we remember this padding of orders so that we could place special orders with the vendor or Ingram was one contributing factor to a large overstock of unsellable inventory that had to be put on clearance or discarded. And we are trying really hard not to get back into that situation. So there is a minimum of $170 retail and $100 cost for any customer request from a non-special order vendor. Though this at first seems high, and it did to me, it really works out to at least 8 or 10 books. And which really kind of goes back to what we had said we would do at the beginning. Those who need a large number of books from one of these vendors, we can stop and place that with relatively small cost to us. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Thank you so much, and God bless. Bye.